The electronics manufacturing industry has become the backbone of modern life, powering everything from smartphones and computers to cars and household appliances. As this industry rapidly evolves, the need to manage and control hazardous substances in electronic products has never been more crucial. Regulations such as the Restriction of Hazardous Substances Directive, better known as RoHS, play a vital role in ensuring that electronics are safer for consumers, workers, and the environment. Understanding RoHS, its requirements, and how to comply with it is essential for any organization involved in the production, import, or distribution of electronic equipment. RoHS was first introduced in the European Union in 2003, following growing concerns about the impact of toxic substances used in electronics manufacturing. Prior to this, electronic waste was accumulating in landfills, releasing hazardous chemicals like lead and mercury into the soil and water. The primary objective of RoHS is to limit the use of certain hazardous materials in electrical and electronic equipment, thereby reducing environmental pollution and health risks. The original RoHS directive, known as RoHS 1, 2002-95/EC, targeted 6 substances: lead, Pb, mercury, Hg, cadmium, Cd, hexvalent chromium, Cr-Sun, polybrominated biphenyls, PBB, and polybrominated diphenyl ethers, PBDE. These substances were commonly used for their electrical, mechanical, or flame retardant properties, but posed significant health and environmental risks. In 2011, RoHS was revised and recast as RoHS 2, 2011/65/EU to address practical implementation challenges and expand its scope to new product categories. RoHS 2 also introduced clearer obligations for manufacturers and importers and required more robust documentation and conformity assessment procedures. The directive was further updated in 2015 with RoHS 3, 2015/863/EU, which added 4 more phthalates, DEHP, BBP, DBP, and DIBP to the list of restricted substances, bringing the total to 10. RoHS does not exist in isolation. It is closely linked with other EU regulations such as REACH, registration, evaluation, authorization, and restriction of chemicals, which governs chemicals more broadly. WEEE, Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment Directive, which addresses electronic waste management, and the CE marking system, which signifies conformity with health, safety, and environmental protection standards. The core of RoHS compliance lies in understanding the restricted substances and their maximum allowable concentrations. The 10 restricted substances are lead, mercury, cadmium, hexavalent chromium, PBB, PBDE, DEHP, BBP, DB, and DIBP. Each has a specific limit, typically 0.1% by weight in homogeneous materials, except for cadmium, which is even more tightly restricted at 0.01%. These substances can be found in components such as solder, circuit boards, cables, plastics, and flame retardants. For example, lead was traditionally used in soldering electronic components due to its low melting point, but its neurotoxic effects are well documented. Mercury, found in some switches and relays, can cause severe neurological damage. Cadmium was often used in batteries and pigments, while hexavalent chromium provided corrosion resistance in metal coatings. PBB and PBDE were widely used as flame retardants in plastics. The 4 added phthalates are commonly found in flexible plastic parts and cables. RoHS applies to a broad range of electrical and electronic equipment, including household appliances, IT, and telecommunications equipment, consumer electronics, lighting, power tools, toys, sports equipment, and medical devices. However, certain exemptions exist for specific products or applications, where alternatives are not yet available or where their use is deemed essential for safety or reliability. These exemptions are periodically reviewed and have defined time limits. Compliance with RoHS is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. Manufacturers must assess conformity using a structured approach. This involves collecting and maintaining technical documentation that demonstrates compliance, such as bills of materials, declarations from suppliers, and test reports. A key requirement is the EU Declaration of Conformity, DOC, a formal statement that the product meets all applicable regulations, including RoHS. The CE marking, which must be affixed to products sold in the European Economic Area, is only valid if RoHS requirements are met. In the supply chain, RoHS compliance begins with supplier selection and management. Manufacturers must ensure that their suppliers understand RoHS requirements and provide necessary documentation, such as certificates of conformity, COC, MULS, safety data sheets, SDS, and test reports. Analytical testing methods like X-ray fluorescence, XRF, and inductively coupled plasma optical emission spectroscopy, ICP-OES, are used to verify materials. Periodic audits, inspections, and material tracking logs help maintain ongoing compliance and traceability. Risk analysis is another critical aspect. Different products, materials, and suppliers may pose varying levels of risk for RoHS violations. Companies should categorize risks, prioritize high-risk suppliers or components, and implement corrective actions if non-compliance is detected. This might involve product recalls, supplier requalification, or process improvements. Modern tools have made RoHS compliance more manageable. Handheld XRF analyzers allow for quick screening of materials for restricted substances, while advanced laboratory techniques like ICP, OES, and gas chromatography mass spectrometry, GCMS, provide detailed chemical analysis. Real-world case studies underscore the importance of vigilance. Even reputable companies have faced penalties and product recalls due to inadvertent RoHS violations. To support compliance efforts, companies often rely on standardized templates and procedures. These include sample EU declarations of conformity, internal RoHS checklists, hazardous material tracking forms, and standard operating procedures, SOPs, tailored to electronic manufacturing. Navigating RoHS compliance is a complex but essential task for the electronics industry. It requires collaboration across the supply chain, investment in training and technology, and a commitment to continuous improvement. By adhering to RoHS and related regulations, companies not only avoid legal penalties, but also contribute to a safer, cleaner environment and protect the health of consumers and workers alike. For organizations seeking further guidance or professional support in RoHS compliance and hazardous substance management, expert consultation and training services are available. Taking proactive steps today ensures that your electronic products meet global standards for safety, quality, and environmental protection. Contact Service Support, ISC, Global International Standards, Training and Certification Partner. Contact Vietnam Representative, hotline +84 93309646 +84 868 591 26 Email van.pham@iscvietnam.net. duclongservices@gmail.com.